stopped like submitting like my research proposal and everything. I was like, this is not going to happen like in this like COVID era right now.
Okay.
So then I took like a pause like about like for 2 years for not studying, and I was like thinking like, Aldu, like you haven't studied for 2 years, like what are you going to do now? And then I thought, this is the time for my MBA now. Because I always wanted to learn more about business. Like both my parents are teachers. So I didn't really grow up like in much of like
a business, centric kind of lingo kind of thing.
Yeah, like not like entrepreneurial at all. And like you would know like from our space, like into like product design. And you engage with so many stakeholders, like having like strong business acumen, like it helps so much. And I really like learned a lot like inside, like during my time at the lab already, but you can't learn enough.
Yeah.
So I thought like, let me enroll like for my MBA right now. So I can actually just like compensate for any like gaps that I have in my knowledge.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started at the beginning of this year. I'm doing it part-time, so I'm doing it over 2 years.
Okay. That's a good call though.
Yes.
But you have a heavy load at work.
Yes, yeah. And also like coming out of COVID and not studying for 2 years,
it's amazing how rusty you get, eh?
Yes, but you also value your free time.
Of course, yeah, exactly. Sorry, that I went to a different end of the spectrum. I was like, you're out of practice. You're like, there's other things to do in life.
Yes, it's been great. Like, it's very interesting. And it's also nice to see that like working like as an actuary and like studying things like from actuarial science, a lot of the things that we learn actually like is captured in this module. Like, I mean, we engage at such a high level like with the material that we consume. That sometimes like I page through that textbook and I'm like, oh, like I did this already.
I would rewrite this section.
Not that much.
Okay.
I just tag it a page along. You're almost like I finished this. So yeah, so that's also like really good to see that like the things that we learn at varsity and like through our fellowship and everything, like it's uniformly applicable. Like it's so relevant always. So yeah, hopefully I finish this in 2 years, and then I don't think I'm going to study after that again, Margie.
Well, I'll ask you in 2 years' time. No, we'll see.
We'll go for supper together.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see. I'll be like, so Aldu, where's the PhD?
Oh, wow.
I'm joking. But thank you for sharing that. I think the last question I would ask you is, what is something you wish you had known when you started this actuarial journey? Or even, I mean, to reword that, like a form of encouragement to someone who is starting an actuarial journey or considering starting an actuarial journey. What would be your sort of 2 cents to them?
I definitely think to just be kind. I think like during like in actuarial science, we really have this pool of very competitive, focused, driven, high achieving individuals.
Yeah.
And sometimes you forget to be kind to yourself inside this pool. You forget to be kind to yourself and to others and those around you.
Yeah.
So I think like, be kind like on your mirror and see like when you brush your teeth in the morning. Because it is a challenging pathway. The reward is really like far out. Like you really need to work hard for a very long time until you reap the reward. And it's so important to just be kind to yourself, like care about yourself, like take time off, like don't discount yourself as a human to become an actuary. Like remember that like you're entitled to happiness. Like do what makes you happy. Like explore, dream, go have the wine tasting that you want, go travel. Like, don't compromise on life. Like, don't sacrifice happiness for this, because if you're not happy, like, it's not going to be a quality journey. So,
and I think also being an actuary isn't going to make you happy.
No, definitely
There's like more than that. I think, I mean, there's an element of happiness that you experience when you qualify. Let's not underrate that. But it's not going to fulfill you. Your life is more than just being an actuary. And I think that that's an important thing to kind of keep in perspective.
Especially along the way, because, I mean, like you're studying towards becoming this, but you need to make sure that you have like purpose along the way.
Yeah.
Like make sure that you have like a societal impact like while you're studying. Like don't stop living because you're studying towards becoming like an actuary. And I think like the part like for me, be kind summarizes that, because you remember that you are a human who's entitled to happiness.
But also you're part of an ecosystem, right? And it's not just you. And I think, something I often think about when I used to see CVs come in and, people ask me for jobs, is I so often looked at what they did other than the studying.
Yes.
To say, okay, did you, was there any form of sort of charity work that you did? Or, is there something you're passionate about? Or like those sort of things, like are you investing in something other than just your studies? And I'm not negating the importance of studies, but I think you also want to know that someone is driven by other aspects. And I think those can vary, and I think it depends very much on your sort of personal sort of makeup and perspective. But it is important to have more.
Joe, I 100% agree with you, especially like on like CV applications. I also look for that.
Yeah, I always
Agree
like,
with you.
there's a lot of very smart people that apply. And it's like, I often think, okay, like, let's go look at the other things they do. So I think that's a very good piece of advice. Thank you so much for being on this podcast, Aldu.
Oh, thanks, Marky.
Honestly, you've been amazing, and I hope that our audience benefits from this conversation.
Same, thank you. And thanks for being such an amazing hostess. Like, this was an amazing chat. Like, it's always nice seeing you. I'm sorry for taking over your job at the lab.
You know what? Someone had to. I had to go teach. My heart was for teaching. So I'm so glad you took over that mantle, and I'm pretty sure you're probably better at that job than I was.
Such big shoes to fill. I know, but if I open a workbook and I see like Marky use this workbook, then I know, this is going to be like a good piece of work. Like,
it's probably all color coded, right? All of my spreadsheets are color coded. Like, it was a point of pride for me. But to our listeners, I hope that you have loved this episode. I know I loved interviewing Aldu, and we'll see you in the next episode. Cheers. Goodbye. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave a review on your preferred streaming platform. If you'd like to interact with us more or add questions or topics to our pool of ideas, please follow our Instagram page at ASForActuary or email us on asforactuary@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Take care.